Thanks for joining me today at Take 5. In this series of teachings, we're focusing on strengthening grace, an available commodity, available, not automatic, an available commodity of God's divine power that can be administered to you, to your inner man, strengthening you on the inside and enabling you to deal effectively with all the things you need to deal with in this life. And so we're looking at strengthening grace from Paul's point of view, in a way, looking at his revelation of strengthening grace, his experience of strengthening grace, his prayers concerning strengthening grace, and then his exhortations. So we were in 2 Corinthians chapter 12 in our last teaching. Paul was praying about this situation, about his own situation, which was not only troubling for him, but it seems like it's devastating him. He's in trouble. He's in a rough spot. He is not doing well, and he's asking for relief. He's saying, Lord, change my situation. Lord, remove this messenger of Satan. Lord, I'm not going to make it. Lord, it's too heavy. Lord, it's too much. If things don't change around me in my situation, in my circumstances, I'm not going to make it. Well, see, sometimes you might feel like that too. The weight is too much. Well, you know what? It depends. Because 10 pounds is too much for a man with weak legs, but 50 pounds is nothing for a man who is strong. So we think sometimes everything is a weight issue. It's a situation issue, when often it's not a weight issue. It's a strength issue. And like it or not like it, you are going to have to deal with things in this life that cannot be changed. Strengthening grace is one of the divine commodities that God has made available for us that enables us to deal from a position of strength with the things that cannot be changed in our life. So Paul said, Lord, remove the situation. Lord, remove the situation. Jesus answered Paul, but not in the way Paul thought. The Lord said to him in 2 Corinthians 12:9, He said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. That was not saving grace. That is not ministry grace. Jesus was talking about strengthening grace, and apparently Paul didn't know about it or somehow had forgotten about it. And so Jesus brings to him this revelation of this divine commodity of help called strengthening grace that can help Paul in his situation. So Jesus says, Paul, my grace is enough for you. What is he really saying? I can aid you to such a level that you can deal with your circumstance and with all circumstances, because my grace is enough. If the weight on your life is 100 pounds, then I give you that supply of grace. If your circumstances are this and this, then I give you a matching grace so that you are always more than a match for all the things you will have to face. That's what grace will do for you. It makes you able to deal with all the things you have to face. So Jesus says to Paul, my grace is sufficient. In the Greek, it means a full supply. It is sufficient for you. And then Jesus says, for. Now, for is a joining conjunctive. I think I've said it right. In the Greek, it's the word gar, G-A-R. And it's very, very powerful here, because this word in the Greek shows an equivalence between two statements. So Jesus says, my grace is sufficient, equal sign, gar, for. My strength is made perfect in weakness. So what is grace? Grace is strength. Strength in the Greek here is dunamis. So what is Jesus saying to Paul? He's saying, my grace is enough for you. What I'm saying to you, Paul, is that my dunamis, my power, my might, this power that I have in me, it's enough for you. It will fully manifest in your weakness. You know, sometimes people say, grace is God's unmerited favor. I don't hold to that. Sorry. Not for strengthening grace, not for saving grace, and not for ministry graces. Interestingly, Jesus could have said to Paul, my grace is enough for you because my unmerited favor. No. My grace is enough for you for gar, adjoining conjunctive, my strength. What he's saying is, you know what grace is? It's my strength. Grace is strength. Thanks for joining us today. We'll pick up with our teaching next time.